And we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another live show of FNP Wargamers. And we got our guest.
Hey, how's it going? I thought you were going to introduce me, but apparently...
No, I was waiting for you to introduce.
How's it going?
And then our normal peeps. All right, thumbs up. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Pansky. All right. It's going to be a good show.
So, we've had Eric on before, haven't we?
Say what?
Yes.
Yeah, we've had Eric on before. Eric with our FNP Pro team. Or
FN Pro.
Yeah.
FN Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, stuff to talk about.
All right, good show. All right, thanks, guys. Everyone who participated. No, I'm just kidding.
Let's see. Ski's concentrating on painting. So
Yeah.
No. Don't lose your focus.
Oh, this is only Kevin's. Whatever.
Oh, nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
For those that don't.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go. I don't know what I was going to say. Okay, so in regards to people are like wondering who's Kevin and why he's painting that, we're helping a friend of ours, Kevin, out with his Fire Slayer army for Warzone Houston, which is in July on the 13th and 14th.
Mm-hmm.
And this last weekend, we spent about 5 hours and got about 50 some odd Fire Slayers painted. Pretty much top to bottom, just to add some extra details and washes. And then Ski is making a gorgeous looking, whatever, the wood oven pizza maker, whatever that is.
Yep.
That is pretty good. That's awesome, dude.
Well, I felt bad because all you guys are sweating and like painting like layers and layers of orange and layers of silver and like skin and all this like this whole freaking assembly line. I'm sitting in the corner just painting copper.
Oh, wait, well, it's good. No, it's good, though, because that still needs to be done. And it was a good process. Like, I was handling all the little runes on their skin. Clint was taking care of all the metallic weapons and the heads. And then their friend Joe is handling all the hair. I don't know what Kevin was doing. I think he was just...
Oh, we had some I don't remember names. Somebody came in, took his stuff, started painting his stuff for him. I'm like, what?
Yeah, some random neighbor came over and started painting too. It was pretty crazy.
It was cool. It was really cool.
Pretty much all this assembly line. That's something that people should do, I think. Whenever you're getting geared up for like Warzone Houston or War Games Con or even the Desert Rat in El Paso, man, sit down with other people and do this mass painting. You know, and they don't have to be super detailed, but go, okay, so Todd, though we don't like Todd, you paint the hair. Karen, because we hate Karen, we're just gonna let her do all the wash. You know,
right. The wash is the easiest part.
I know, but we don't want to hear her complaints. So
you have Karen do the trim.
Yeah, but see, no. See, the wash. Everybody thinks it's the easiest part, but to make a good wash look good on your model, it does take time. Just can't just slap it on there like contrast paint and be like, all right.
Here's an idea. Why doesn't everyone just use contrast paint?
Well, the contrast paint isn't out yet. So.
I said in 2 weeks.
I would if I had some.
Well, I'm trying to get us some, get it to us sooner. I think this earliest I can get it is the 12th.
I do want to do a shout out though. We have 2 young members joining the 40K community over the weekend. Right? Was it 2 or 1? Well, basically it's 2. But is it Kevin's son and then forget his name, but it's a new blood.
Brendan.
Fraser.
Brenda.
He's starting AdMech.
Yeah. Oh, John. Little guy. John.
Yeah. Yes, I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a young blood starting AdMech, which is awesome.
Yes. I have to say, you know, it's really cool when people sit there and they look past the meta, they look past all the competitive play, and they look at just playing the game and building up the models, the armies, doing the hobby stuff. because that helps grow the community. And here's this guy who didn't want to get back into 40K. He did. He blames me, of course. And now he's gotten his son involved, and his two neighbors. He's got involved, and his friend, he didn't even know that played 40K, is back involved. So it's pretty cool when you take a step out of the tournament scene and you just look at the hobby aspect, just to sit there and play and build and paint. It helps grow that community. So good job, Kevin.
Yep, good job. I just we can shout that out because I think that's always great, and that's why, that's the kind of stuff that you get invited to like the Games Workshop Expo. Helping the new recruits and helping getting people in, teaching them how to paint, build, talking about the story, all of it. It all comes down. Everything matters in this hot tabletop. The community matters. The parents matter. The kids matter. Organizations and gaming groups like us matter. And we stick together, and things come together very well. And so I can't wait to see these new people at the expo in October and see and go around and be a part of that community. It's just great to see that.
So the only little bit of rumor I have, and I don't want to debunk it, and I don't want to deflate somebody's excitement, but there's a little chatter I've been hearing locally and reading online about the new box set that's coming out. That's going to be Dark Angels versus Imperium. I think that's just, I really believe it's an internet hoax. I've got nothing coming from one of my two rumor guys and gal. There's nothing solid coming out of any well-known rumor people online. It all just seems very, I don't know. It seems like it's like a troll almost, like seeing how far they can get the thing about Dark Angels are traitors and they're going to finally betray the Imperium, blah, blah, blah. Now, does that mean that there's going to be a box set not going to be a box set? I think there's going to be a box set coming out soon. I just don't think it's going to be Dark Angels versus the Imperium. I think it'll be probably, if it is going to be Dark Angels, it'll be Dark Angels versus another army.
I think you're just being hopeful that it's not, because you're going to finally learn the truth, and then you'll understand that the Imperium is a lie.
Okay. So that's one viewpoint, but
well, it's the box set's going to be Dark Angels versus the Fallen, and it's going to be Cypher versus one of the chapter masters, and then they're going to bring out another box set of a 3-box set of the Lion with Luther and
oh god, the rumors have been ridiculous. I mean, nothing of substance. I'm not saying that I have no proof that it is or is not coming out, but the fact that one set, the strongest one had said, excuse me, that Lionel Johnson was going to be in the starter box set or whatever, and it'll be him versus the Imperium, or it was him versus his Dark Angels. It was just utter trash. I'm sorry, I got to say it. It's utter trash. I mean, I might end up eating crow on this, but that there's no traction, no honest traction, no evidence, no proof that this is going to happen. And there's no reason for them to all of a sudden make Dark Angels, which, yes, some of them turn bad, some of them are still good, but there's no reason for them to have them. It's so frustrating. It's giving me making my migraine even worse.
Well, let's change the topic then.
Yes, please do.
So the other rumor I have now, if you guys we have the Warhammer Expo or whatever, not the Expo, the Warhammer Fest or whatever coming up soon, up in UK. They're going to be able to touch the first time Warcry, the full box set. They're going to actually go up there and be able to play it.
Oh.
Rumor is it actually might come out in pre-order that same weekend. Now take that with a grain of salt, but there is some rumor coming out that will be out in June, July timeframe, which is Chaos factions. It's all Chaos. It's no good guys in the box set. The factions that they're releasing right now is all Chaos. And they're old sub-factions of Chaos, like pantheons. You know, you have like the Raven pantheon, all these backwater world type ish what they're following. And so like you know, it's like the little cult sects of the chaos stuff. Still, the General's Handbook has been quiet. Like it is supposed to be out this month. They put it out themselves. I have asked, I have poked, I have prodded my sources like there's no tomorrow because I need to know for Warzone. Like that is a big deal for me right now, and I am not getting anything from anybody. That's how it's so weird. I don't even understand that one. So we got that. You've got the John's Handbook, and then the Gore-Trex model. I'm gonna touch bait on this. I knew this guy was coming out when they brought out the audiobook. Time frame was, and the continuity of it was more of a 50-50. But once I had listened to the whole drama, it kind of already set it up for it. He's coming out, gorgeous model. All I have to say, they better make his rules better do justice for who he is. And you know, I'll say on live, and I don't care. He is probably the most amazing character in the Age of Sigmar world, as story wise, and as in probably old fantasy, because the feats and the things that he has done, I don't know anybody else in the universe that has done that in this whole, you know, fluff. I don't know, John. What do you think?
What was the question?
What do you think of Gore-Trex and his rules? Because you know Gore-Trex.
So I was trying to maintain the thought because I wanted to add on to something you were talking about with Warcry.
Oh,
I'm sorry. So I was like trying to focus, and okay. So Gore-Trex.
Wait, are you telling me thought be gone? You lost your thought.
So got it. I think Gore-Trex is probably the best well-known character. I mean, there's lots of little hanger-ons, but story-wise, Gore-Trex is probably the best. I've read every single one of those novels except for Realm Slayer, which I'm looking forward to. Absolute delight, and his new model. Oh, good gravy! I don't play Age of Sigmar, but I'm buying that model just for the build and paint.
And to give you an example of if people don't know about Gore-Trex, I'm just going to give you one little how bad ass he is, I guess, is he took a punch from Sigmar himself and was still standing and still conscious. And that's a big deal. He's done some other, I know he fought Bellicor because he talks about that.
I know that name.
Oh yeah. And he's done quite a lot of other things. And I'm so glad that they brought him out. The rules better be justice though.
How many times did he go up against Thankful, Gracier Thankful and Bone Ripper?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, and I started reading those stories in White Dwarf before. I think it was William King wrote the first book.
Yeah.
I met him at Games Day. Got him to sign a copy of. I think it was Troll Slayer when that came out. I think that was the first one. And man, I tell you what, I used to read those stories, and I loved it. I just wanted so much more because Felix and him were just so much fun to read. It was one of the very few enjoyable books where I just wanted to keep reading the series over and over and over again. And the fact that they've got that new model coming out, I'm super ecstatic. He looks. I mean, Games Workshop is on. Their sculptors are on point yet again.
Yeah, hands down. Besides, I mean, again, great model, but I knew he was coming. I'm just, other than that, for Age of Sigmar. If you haven't bought the Forbidden Power box set or the book or whatever, because I did a video on that. The lore in that book, I'm impressed right now. Like literally out of these books, because you have Sigmar talking with Teclis and Teclis talking with Tyrion, and then you've got these head characters, and they tell you about some of the things that happened back in the day, and it's and these vaults. Some of these things in these vaults are amazing. But I have a feeling that there is a war brewing versus the Stormcast and the Elves. Just going to put that out there right now. Teclis isn't very happy with Sigmar, so
Mm.
I'm not going to spoil it, but it's in the Forbidden Powder book. I suggest getting it,
Cool.
and reading it. It's great.
So before I forget, going back to the war cry, how you're talking about was all the different Chaos Undivided tribes.
Yep.
So Games Workshop is re-releasing a book this weekend. I think it's the Liber Chaotica. I think that's the name of it. Basically, back in the day, they had 4 separate books that came out, one for each of the different gods, and they were like these. I forget what the format is, but I don't know. The books were like maybe 12-inch by 6 or 7-inch. I mean, they were huge. And they compiled them all into one big book. And I've got a copy of it. I'm going to read through it because I wonder, because they talk about all the different tribes. So I'm going to go take a look at that now that you're talking about that. I wonder if that's where they pulled the lore from, because now they're dropping that Chaotica book again, or re-releasing it, and Warcry is right around the corner. So I'm wondering if there's any link between the two.
I think there is, because again, I'm gonna go back to the Forbidden Power. They talk about the Free Guild, the Free People. Make sure the right name, because I don't want to. We always keep saying it differently every time we talk about it. They talk about. Let's see here. The Free Guild. And so there is a Free Guild that is ran by the Stormcast, basically, on one of these areas. I'm not going to read that. And they also talk about the War Priests. So the War Priests are no longer like part of they're still human, but they are their own thing now. Like a War Priest is just a War Priest. And so they talk about them in this book, and this is Age of Sigmar, not fantasy. So I'm having a feeling they're starting to pull some of this old stuff back together.
Cool.
So,
well, I wonder. It'll be interesting to see how that ties in. I doubt it's going to have any real tie-in with Soulbound that's coming out of Cubicle 9, the Age of Sigmar RPG, because those generally tend to be their own universe, and depending on how the license is, some of it might be canonical, some of it might not be. Like a lot of the stuff from, say, the Death Watch RPG was canonical, canon, except for that area of space. Except after Fantasy Flight stopped producing those books, that area of space actually became full-on lore for Games Workshop. Just naming it, the whole Jericho Reach. So I wonder how that's going to play out with Soulbound. But before I forget, let people know that contrast paints are not coming out this weekend. They are coming out on the 15th at select stores and Games Workshop or Warhammer stores. And then your local store, if they did not do like the big upgrade, they will not be getting the paints until the 22nd. So stores like Atomic Hobby Shop in Cyprus will they're going to have it, and you'll be able to come by, and we're actually going to have a painting contest. We're going to have some of the contrast available for you to try out and to paint. But so it's a little shameless plug there for Atomic Hobby Shop, mainly because I work there. Also, because these contrast paints are really, I think they're going to revolutionize how this whole industry is, how you build and paint your models. Now, I'm hoping we can get ours a little early, because I'd love to be able to do like a live feed video of it, and we still might video it on that day to watch people do it. But
they're
if we can
coming in for us either Thursday or Friday. I mean, they gotta also give us time, because we gotta redo our whole rack.
Oh yeah. So, I know it's. But I would still love to be able to do. Man, it would be so awesome if we can get our hands on it with a significant amount of time that we can tinker with it.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It's. If you guys haven't heard about it, you've been living under a rock, or maybe you've been deployed and you haven't heard about it or something, man, go to the Games Workshop page, follow the links on the Warhammer community page for their contract, their whole Citadel color page, because they show new videos on there. They show paint tips, how to excuse me, bad indigestion. Take care of your brushes and everything, and more is going to be leaked. And even after that whole contrast paint drops, and it's not just contrast paints, but as soon as that drops, that page is more than likely going to still be a source of information, and there'll be more new stuff going on there all the time.
Well,
So
today I was watching Twitch, Duncan, Peachy, Natalie from Heavy Metal, and Max, I think. And Peachy painted 20 skeletons in 2 hours, fully painted and based with the contrast paints. Duncan did a squad of Iron Warriors with the contrast paints. One of them he did the shoulder pads with the hazards, but the rest were fully painted with contrast paints. Natalie was doing the new Sylvaneth character with the bug wings that came in that box set that we can never find, really. She did half of it with washes and glazes and some of the contrast paints to make this opaque look amazing. They're amazing. They are straight up amazing.
You know what almost made me want to start an Iron Warrior army? I was at work, and there was a mechanical sign, and it was just posted up there, and it said like caution electrical zone or something, right? Had a little person with electric, and I was like, man, I can do Iron Warriors, paint them up, and then put their caution stuff all over their vehicles, like warning pinch point, warning electrical.
Dude,
I think it'd be funny.
I'm going to take a moment to answer a couple of questions before we continue on.
Yeah, I saw chat was going a little
let's see here. For Space Cadet, the reason why so many people are already getting their hands on a contrast paint is there are certain people that were product testers that had their own YouTube channels and such, so they got really early access for the contrast paints. And then there's other groups that, they've got 10, 20, 30,000 followers, which we're going to get to, but they've got those followers, so they've got special agreements with Games Workshop. They might even just have they might actually know somebody. They go and drink with Duncan, every Friday night or something. I don't know.
Nope. And 10,000 subs. That's how you can get in the bed with GW.
There we go. So we're getting there. But until we get that many subscribers, that means hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and tell your family and your friends to do it too. We're not going to
and your dog.
And your dog. And we're not going to get that early access just yet. That's how they're doing it.
Yep.
Kevin, how are signups for Warzone? Boy. Horus Heresy is sold out. Guild Ball is 3 tickets away from being sold out, I believe. Infinity is sold out. We actually added 2 more tickets on Infinity, and they sold those out within minutes. Age of Sigmar had a huge explosion of ticket sales the past few days, and they're almost sold out with I think they're down to like 3 tickets left.
6 tickets.
Okay. Warhammer 40,000 is sold out. We are looking to do some rearranging with the table layout to make sure to see if we can add on maybe, and I'm stress this, maybe 6 more spots. No guarantee. I've got to relook at the numbers. I got to make sure I double check how many actual bona fide paid entries we have. And if we do have that space available, then we'll probably have about 6 more spots. But we are almost at 100% max capacity for everything.
And he's not taking those 6 slots from Age of Sigmar. I'm just throwing it out there too.
Yeah. I'm not taking spots away from anybody, unless it's like the day of, and there's 6 spots for Age of Sigmar still open, and I've got 6 guys that are literally there waiting to see if anybody drops. We'll do that then. But this is great because we've gone from our first year at 56 people, sorry, to 110 last year. And this year we're going to be 180 something.
Those are some real numbers.
And just to know, the BCP registration's up for Age of Sigmar. Mr. John, you got to fix yours. There's a button you forgot to push so people could register on it.
Oh no.
Yes. I'll let you know in chat. I figured it out.
Okay.
But yeah, they are set up. Age of Sigmar is going for Warzone. There's some people that registered on mine for 40K, and I had to fix that, but they are up.
So I've got a waiting list right now of like 8 people for 40K. So, man, it's a good thing to have, but I'm also feel bad because I want more space, but we can't do more space until next year. Next year we'll have another 3,000 square feet. So I think that puts us at like another 50 people. So, and actually that place is pretty much guaranteed, but we might, Alan and I were talking, we might push for another spot that's an extra 5,000 square feet. And we looked at opening it up to additional games like RPGs, card games in a totally separate area and expanding 40K and basically turn it into one massive
Gaming con?
Yeah.
Get some Warcry in there, get some Underworlds in there.
I mean, we want Games Workshop to be, since it's the most prolific of the tabletop games right now, I mean, it's going to take center stage. All those games will take center stage, but I want to be able to accommodate games like Infinity, Guild Ball. I don't want to take away Kings of War or Bolt Action from Bayou Battles. But even then, I mean, Wild West Exodus guys, Batman miniature guys have contacted me. So it's like there's a lot of people out there that they really, really want to play games. They want to play to come. The RPG guys are really dying to have because they get special bonuses if they attend conventions for their characters if they're part of the Pathfinder Society or Adventure League. So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah. So, and then we have people that do games for Modifius, which has like Conan and Infinity, that get bonus points for running their games that they can get free product and stuff. So,
well, and I've been hearing Malifaux and all this stuff is starting to come back alive dramatically.
Oh yeah, Malifaux. I don't know if they dropped their new edition or not. I had to talk to my friend Doug. He was at Wargames Con, or not Wargames Con, LVO as one of their official judges for running it. He has a big time, I guess, Crusader or whatever head guy for Malifaux in the area. So I want to definitely get him involved next year. So yeah, Alan and I've got this is a good thing that we have too many people for our space, but so next year should be good. And we got something, we're working on something big for year 5. So anyway, sorry, I got
planning for the future.
Yep. Yeah, we want this to be a sustainable convention.
Yeah.
And I think one more year, and it will be pretty much self-sustaining.
Nice.
Yeah.
Real quick, Kevin, I'm working on flames. If you don't like it, I'm sorry, but it's my first try getting flames with some blending. So you get what you get, brother. Just disclaimer.
So I did have one other rumor. You guys might have seen stuff popping up about with their rumor engines. Some people are thinking, it might be Eldar, or it might be Lizardmen, or Orcs for Age of Sigmar. I think a lot of it, some of it might be that Orc. I think Ski, you were talking about that, but I believe it's a lot of hints at the new Sylvaneth stuff that's going to be coming out. I mean, I've heard or read, I shouldn't say heard, read a couple rumors that, it's going to be Exodite Eldar. If it's Exodite Eldar, Games Workshop is going to have a little bit of a backlash, I think.
I've already seen the Sylvaneth points and everything.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything called anything that you're saying.
Well, I mean, there's okay. So, um, then if it's Exodite Eldar, I think GW might have a little bit of a backlash because there's Yanari that's just sitting out there. I'm not subscribing to this or putting a lot of faith behind this being Exodite Eldar. Um, I see no reason to call it that. I'm still going to stick with the stuff where my little source had said that the Yanari are going to get their actual codex, and some of that stuff could be the Yanari. I don't know. I don't think it's Exodite Eldar. I mean, the jokes now are starting to get a little carried away. You know, the Autarch riding a Brontosaurus and getting 39 attacks and causing mortal wounds with his stompy feet. And I mean, some of the stuff is just getting a little ridiculous. Could it happen? It might, but I think it's going to be maybe Yanari. I think that's what a lot of stuff is leaning towards. Because, I mean, Exodites and Yanari are kind of like they're on the opposite spectrum. You know, Yanari is all about death, and Exodites are about protecting those maiden worlds. They just seem like druids and necromancers. They don't really mesh too much. So, who knows? Who knows?
They're really just all squats. That's what's really coming out. Squats.
God, I hope it's not squats. But I do think whatever's coming, it's going to be awesome, and people are going to be rejoicing. You know, they'll be happy. They'll be super excited about boosting up either their Elves or their Eldar, whichever version of Eldar they have or version of Elves. But there is going to be those few sore people that are just going to be a little upset if it's not Yanari. So we'll see. And as soon as I get information, because right now I'm pretty sure Ski's in the same boat. There's no information coming out right now. And I think it's because they got all these expos that have been popping up, the contrast paints. So Games Workshop, our little sources, stateside and across the pond, haven't really released anything to us.
You know, if whoever plans their releases really needs to be fired, because ever since I became a retailer, it's like there's some months so it's like bam, 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 buy, boom, look, explosions of excitement and everything's exploding, and you're like, huh, all right, cool. I don't know if I can maintain this.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, nothing, crickets for months, and you're like, come on, just over the year.
It was like that last year too. Around summer to late fall, it was getting hammered again and again. Big release, big release, big release. And I think the last big release before they kind of abated was the Grand Master edition for Adeptus Titanicus. And then, I mean, I remember talking to my rep. I had a different rep at that time when I was at Eton. And the rep was like, yeah, we understand you guys have been getting hit hard week after week. It's going to slow down a little bit. Now they're back to hammering us again and again, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving us some fantastic stuff, but slow down. Slow down.
Well, we're back at the lull again. Like, it's just like just make it average across the board. Yeah. Look at John. John's in pain.
Fighting I don't know if it's a migraine or sinuses. It's something. It's been fighting it all day. Yeah, so a lot of good stuff coming out of Games Workshop and a lot of interesting potential down the road. But right now, I don't even know what their roadmap is. Usually we have an idea of what's coming out for the summer. But they've been, I guess maybe their big release is the contrast paints, the entire paint line. So usually there's like, hey, it's the Summer of Sigmar, or it's, hey, it's the Summer of 40K.
Well, we do have like the General Handbook. That's a big deal. Contrast paint is a big deal. Warcry is a very big deal. Those are big releases. What's the 40K though?
but not compared to say what was last year, Soul Wars, and that last year. I mean, even the reps were like, it's it's the Summer of Sigmar.
Yeah.
And the year before was that 8th edition?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
we've been in 8th for a while.
Yeah, this is year 3. Yeah. So this is the 3rd summer. So, I mean, I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot of little things then maybe this summer. Like,
I forgot about Apocalypse too. I forget that still needs to be released.
Yeah. Apocalypse, Warcry. I don't know what else. It sounds like, you're probably going to get your wish, Jonathan. It's going to be lots of little stuff where we don't have to buy tons and tons of, just enough to fill orders and get some on the shelf. But it's, man, I hope it's a light summer. I mean, I want new 40K stuff, but I'd rather them get a lot of that specialist stuff out of the way, because there's a lot of people that are like, man, I need my halflings. I need those new enforcers from Necromunda. I need the Apocalypse. I need the Apocalypse set.
Well, it makes you save your money too for when Sisters drop.
Yeah. Well, and Space Marine Codex 2 should be out this year. So, and then with that coming out, you'll get probably the 3 new boxes plus 2 or 3 characters. And those are probably going to be just I should say that the 3 kits will be the Eliminators, the Infiltrators, and the Suppressors. And then the new Space Marine Repulsor, and then it'll probably blister up the library. Well, I bet you they even have a new Librarian and a new Phobos Lieutenant and Phobos Captain for that.
Yeah, when is that new Repulsor supposed? I mean, they told us it's coming out, but like,
it's that. It's the Admech transport. It's the Chaos Knights. There's still a handful of stuff.
Yeah, but
it's coming.
We haven't heard anything.
Well, all that Space Marine stuff, I'm pretty sure it's going to be in the fall. If it comes out sooner, I'll be really surprised. I think if I calculated right, it should be about 3 months, which should be August. I don't know if that's considered fall or summer. But
August?
Yeah. Is that still summer?
I don't know.
No, I always thought of it as fall. Okay, so maybe, anyways, August, September timeframe. Yeah, and then Apocalypse, and we got the AdMech vehicle, which I have no idea how they're going to do some of these releases, man.
So the Apocalypse is like the original Apocalypse, right? Like that, or the old Apocalypse.
We don't know yet.
Like, it's just like you bring 8,000 points and you play a game with these special rules.
I imagine so. They'll probably have special formations. It looks like they've got when I was watching the video and kind of slowing it down and freeze framing it, it looks like they still have what they call assets, which I don't know how that's going to work, because pretty much a lot of assets that are in people's codexes right now are actually they're stratagem were assets.
Say that again.
Okay, so
no, what are they called?
In Apocalypse, they're called assets.
Yep.
Assets.
Yes.
You said it so quickly, I thought you said ass tits. I was like,
oh, no, assets.
What?
That's for the Slanesh army.
Ass tits.
And so a lot of those assets have become stratagems on a much smaller level. So it'll be really cool to see how this all works. And then Clint just popped in and said the GW employees went to Dallas this week to demo APOC. So that might be our summer release.
Yeah.
I do know 2 things about Apocalypse that I think you guys have mentioned yet. One is that what I heard is that there's formations, and the formations act like a unit instead of individual. So it's not 10 Space Marines shooting, it's 30 Space Marines do an attack. And also all the damage is dealt at the end of the entire game round. So I shoot you, you shoot back, then damage is calculated. So you don't get like that huge spike, like my Titan kills your Titan, now you're screwed.
Yeah.
Apocalypse was pretty crazy. If you didn't set times and how many rounds and everything. I mean, I think Clint and we've been in a couple games with our friend that passed away, Ryan. We were playing, I don't know, like 8 hours with about 25,000. I don't know if he was there for that, but 25,000 points a person. And I mean, we get some huge games on 8x12s. So it'll be interesting to see, because I love Apocalypse, but the game taking forever to play is a big issue. So if you're right, Eric, and looks like what Tyler is saying, that might be some truth to it. Because Epic was like that. You'd have a base of 5 guys that might represent 30 guys. And so it sounds like between the two of you, you guys might have something going on there.
Yeah, I'd enjoy that more. I just hate the reason why I never liked Apocalypse is I would just not play for an hour. Right?
Yeah.
It'd be your turn, and I'm just like, all right, I just sit here for a whole hour while you do your turn. So.
And and if it was great when you had plenty of D weapons, because then you could just like, okay, drop the D.
Here's my pie template, my big.
I'll real quick story before we continue on, because we haven't even got to what we're talking about.
Story time.
So we were playing with my friend, and I don't think Clint might have been there for it. So me and my friend Kale, whenever we would play with Ryan, he gets really excited. Did get excited about playing Apocalypse, and we just wanted us to come out and have fun and just hang out and then go home. And so him and I would text each other during the game, and we just act like, God dang it, why is my mom still texting me or whatever? And we're like, we got to a point where we would be attacking each other so we could hurry up and cause titanic explosions with our creatures and wipe out big swaths of our armies. And every time we would like run up my knights would charge his brass scorpions or whatever, just so we can get those big giant nuclear detonations where it's like everything within 12 inches takes a strength D hit. And yeah, we're pretty shitty that way, but that was a lot of fun though. We were just there to have fun, but Ryan was there to win the game. It was like a tournament for him.
Go ahead.
I just hope they do something to fix like troops in Apocalypse, because you'll be like, I brought 50 Space Marines. Guess what? They're useless. Like, or I brought 50 Fire Warriors. They're useless.
Yeah, but that's back in the day, back when a Strength 4 weapon didn't hurt a Toughness 8 thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but when I'm bringing 2
Wraith
Town
Knights,
who
Soldiers
cares?
didn't hurt, you know.
I don't know. Because we played that huge one over at that one time, and all it was like no one brought anything that was troops, or if they did, it was like 3, or like the minimum unit you needed to bring the super heavies, essentially. And I was just like, and they just sat there and did nothing. I mean, yes, back in 7th you couldn't hurt other things, but still, like, why would I want to bring 20 Fire Warriors when I could bring another Riptide or another 2 Hammerheads?
Yeah. Or bring Tau at all, like, right? Am I right?
The Taunar? The Taunar that can give away its wounds to shield drones? Come on.
Yeah, so that's good. I mean, if Apocalypse is coming, if they're up there to demo it, because they're probably, so if they're demoing it, I'm betting that, because that's also probably their quarterly meeting, I would actually suspect July. That might be the July part of the July release.
And one more thing. If you could get a game done in 3 hours, competitive Apocalypse.
Oh, when I was stationed in Arizona, I ran 2 Apocalypse tournaments a year. 3,000 points. You had 4-hour rounds. It was over 2 days. It was actually a lot of fun.
I think that'd be fun. Like, it's just 1v1, like 10,000 points.
Yeah. Oh.
Just have it at Warzone Houston next year.
We'll work into that.
Which reminds me, I didn't tell you guys about Austin last week.
Oh, yes.
I mean, I kind of did, but not. Or the week, yeah, because I was, yeah. So went to Austin to play at Wonko's, which is a store for the Austin AOS community, and we did a narrative 1,000 points played on a 3x4 table, like 20 something people.
Right. On a 3x4?
Yeah.
20 people?
20 something people.
On one table?
No, well, no, everybody had a 3.3. It was like
okay.
People on a 3x4, instead of a 4x4.
I took what you said literal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got confused too.
My bad. I'm forced that way. I confuse everybody, And it was great because the fact it was all narrative, the objective. He wrote everything custom. All the missions, all the way you scored, everything, every game was custom. And it was great. I ended up playing Jeff from Wargamers Con when I went last year, and I got a foot of Gorkov on a casting of a 9 and did 20 mortal wounds, which changed that game dramatically. I ended up killing Karnak, killing a Bloodthirster, and then 2 Warmongers, which totally changed everything on that game with one spell. Then played against a guy with the new Skavens, but he did the shooting Skavens with like the Doom Wheels and the Warp Lightning things and rocket launchers. He was rolling so hot that I was cheering for him to kill me. He was doing such amazing stuff because he would overcharge everything. And so when you overcharge, things happen negative to you or whatnot. And he was like rolling max damage. And it was great. It was the coolest thing I've ever seen, happen. It stuck to my end, right? Oh, I got tabled like 3 turns, but whatever. Then I played against another Khorne guy. Okay, all the armies I play all have new books. So to give you my feel of my Iron Jaws, it was not a very good showing.
Real quick, what was the name of the event that you went to?
It was the Austin 1,000 point narrative.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the Masters, you get scored and all that. The second game is against Khorne again, but he did a Flesh Hound type list with Karnak, a bunch of Flesh Hounds. He took the character with the Flesh Hound, like it was just Flesh Hounds, the Slaughter Priest. The cool thing is, so the second game, your objective was to jump in a pit. And then the next game, if you had things sacrificed in the pit, then your opponent gets to pick one of those to pull in his army. And if you didn't, there were special rules and whatnot.
Huh.
Orcs never made it in the pit because they never got to the pit. So it kind of worked because the next game, I got to take one of his Slaughter Priests, and he was working for me. And so it was kind of odd having a Slaughter Priest with orcs. And, I didn't even know the rules really. So, but he was like, all the hounds were like targeting his own flesh, his Slaughter Priest. Like, you traitor. And he went after him. That was like his goal, and he killed him. He wasted me too, but it was really cool and thematic. That was 4 games. And the last game I played, Flesh Eater Court. Dude, that army, straight up, I see why now it is a top tier army. It is straight up. I couldn't do anything to it. Like the Flayers or whatever they are. He had a group of 6, and I would kill like 3, 4, bring them all back, kill them again, bring them all back. He threw some character behind me. My war boss turned around and deleted that character, and he was by himself. So I had a chance, and I did it. But other than that, I couldn't do anything. It's nice to see playing against these new armies and seeing what they've done, because that just gives me hope. Hopes for my Iron Jaws to be good again, So, but it's a great show. John Kaepernick, shout out to him. He ran it. He was the one that does the Wargamers Con Age of Sigmar. All the guys that showed up, all the Slambo individuals, everybody there was amazing. Kevin came up with me and hung out. Took a lot of pictures. You get a chance to play in those small games, guys. I'm telling you, you're gonna have a lot of fun. It really shows the community of what you're capable of. I ended up winning best sportsmanship and a drawing, and so I ended up getting the new Forbidden Power terrain. I've got it. Oh god, it's box. The big box.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
So that was my I say gift. I had to pay a little bit for it, but that was my gift of getting my butt whipped by having a good time doing it. So, me playing orcs, how I always try to play fun. I helped a lot of people I played. One of the new guys, I was telling them strategically, hey, there's certain things you should try to do, help your movement, help you do this, but yeah, man, overall, good showing, good time. Yeah, but it was good. Only one from Houston.
Cool.
Represent.
Oh yeah.
Represent. Talk about represent. I got my LVO ticket already.
Well, if you didn't, you're screwed. So.
Well, I got the narrative.
Oh, boo.
Yeah. No, I have So I went back. So I keep my Dropbox folder, which is a cloud folder, and I keep every time I bought the tickets. I have all the way back from 2017, the first year I went, and I have all these folders for each year of going to the event. So I was like, I've gone every year. I'm proud of myself. And this is the first year that I wanted to try something different and do the narrative. Because I always take time to make my army look really cool. And then I always feel like, man, your stuff looks bunk. I spent a lot of time on mine, but it's because they're for the championship, right? So I get it. So I really wanted to try, because we kind of got coverage from all different angles last year. So I wanted to do it where no one covered the narrative, and I want to cover the narrative this year. So I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, because you already got 5 of us doing the competitive side, and then Owens. I don't think Owens is going this year.
I might be going as a judge, actually. So
that would be cool to get that perspective.
Yeah, I hope to hear back. I imagine it's probably going to be closer to the actual event date that they'll say, hey, you're going to be a judge. So we'll see. But I did go ahead and buy a championship ticket, not for me, but I'm going to be holding a special grand tournament where that ticket will be the grand prize.
Oh.
Is it going to be an actual GT?
I didn't know we're telling it.
Well, I haven't told specifics when it's going to be held at.
You could tell.
No. We're going to keep it all quiet. But yeah,
Sure.
It will be actually. Well, the only way it'll be a GT is if we max out 20 players. So I think with it being a Las Vegas Open ticket plus a 3-day pass, we will, and it's just a ticket. I'm not paying for airfare. I'm not paying the hotel or anything like that. You have to get your own butt there. But yeah, it'll be a full ticket, championship ticket for $40K and a 3-day pass. And yeah, it'll be awesome. GT 28 players, and I don't know what I'm going to do with the rules and everything. I want to make this very, very super unique. I want this to be not just just a smash and grab type of tournament. I want it to be really challenging and not just, it's just championship missions. I can bring my normal kill super awesome list and monkey stomp people. No, I'm going to make sure the scenarios are challenging.
So you can't play Chaos or Imperial. That'll be difficult.
I think I'm only going to allow probably Gray Knights.
Ananari.
Dark Angels.
Dark Angels. Blood Angels. Necrons.
You're a monster.
Necron's a destroy.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but no destroyers.
And no Forge World. No Forge World. One formation. I'm just kidding,
you
guys.
can bring scouts, and that's it.
No. But I don't want to just make a GT. I want this to be maybe a yearly thing. So every year we're going to be doing this. There's always going to be a ticket available. Who knows? Maybe the year after it'll be a Nova ticket, or
I might have to get on with you and maybe think about with Age of Sigmar.
Oh yeah, or it could be an Adepticon ticket. But right now, LVO ticket is going to be the biggest draw. So, and last time I did this at a different store, we maxed out attendance and we got it to a point where I actually had to open up spots. So, this
I helped you run that one.
Yes, you did. You're going to play this time, I'm hoping.
I hope. I don't need the ticket, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to have somebody else run the event or TO. I'm just going to set it up. I'll get somebody with some really good judging experience and have them run it. Or judge. I'll have basically to have 2 judges there. So that's that little bit.
And then you play in it, so then we can get you the ticket.
No, we don't want me to play in it because I don't want to give free wins to people.
Exactly.
But and the reason why I'm not really going to go play this year at LVO, even I really want to, it's the expense really at the end of the day is what's killing me. And I calculated that I can go to Adepticon, which is more my style event because it's more, even though they got a tournament there, Adepticon has a whole bunch of smaller, more flavorful events that I can really benefit from. And so I'm working on a very important, awesome army for that. And not only can I go to Adepticon, but I have enough money where I can actually go to the SoCal or Bay Area Open. If Nova happens to next year, I might get a Nova ticket. I'll go to that. So
yeah, I want to do one of those big ones too next year as well, like BAO.
Yeah, so if I can hit 2 events for 1 LVO, to me, I can take a year off.
And I'm going to end up going to Adepticon for the hobbying side, painting side, seminar side, tabletop overall gaming side. I probably won't play in it unless there is a team type, possibly narrative event for Age of Sigmar.
See, I want to do Adepticon also, and I'm thinking I can maybe swing it if I sell it to my wife as a Chicago trip. So, because we've never been to Chicago, so like, hey, when I go do this, you can check it out. Just don't get shot because it's the murder capital.
I thought that was Detroit.
No.
No, Chicago's murder capital.
God dang it. I don't want to die.
Yeah, and I've been there before. I've been to DEF CON. It's amazing. It's just gotten like super, super big and huge now. Like where they have their gaming. When they came back to Chicago, me and my buddy Devin and a couple other people went. 2/3 of that whole hallway was filled between the vendors and then the tables. And then in the back end was like empty tables for like some of the smaller games. And it was kind of empty. Now it's front to back. It's amazing. I think they even have other areas now. And that's not including Age of Sigmar. Age of Sigmar was in a whole different freaking room. And so the main the main hallway was all 40K and vendors. So I can't wait to go back and see it now.
That's what I want to get Warzone Houston to. I want it to the level that it's not just gaming, but we've got seminars going on. We've got vendors, not just local vendors, but we've got corporate sponsors. I mean, that's like a 10-year plan, but I want to get it to that level because there's not really a good gaming convention going on in Houston right now, besides Warzone Houston and Bayou Battles. If you like the bolt action,
what about OwlCon? Is that still a thing?
I forget about OwlCon. I apologize anybody that does OwlCon. That's a big RPG convention at Rice University. Rice, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's at Rice.
Well, I've actually worked a booth down there a couple times, but it's not. I mean, that's just role playing. So I want to be able to have the whole miniature aspect. I want to have painting contests for miniatures, like their Crystal Brush or Golden Demon. Get the vendors. Like I'd love to have Games Workshop show up there, or Creature Caster, or Monument Hobby Guys. I'd love to get these people out here and set up a whole vendor row for people, and cosplay, just the whole works. So they've got a big destination event to go to. I mean, Houston's big enough and it deserves it. So that is part of the plan.
Houston does deserve it. She's a big, beautiful girl.
Yes, she is. So we should probably really quickly talk about the Acastus Knight Asterius.
Yeah, the whole title, right?
People, there's probably like one or two people that are like, oh my god, they're going to talk about the knight yet? And everybody else is just like, oh, this is normal.
Yeah, pretty much the
Well,
people are like,
we had to get through a lot of the rumors and talk about Warzone Houston because, like we said, it's very light right now, coming out with solid rumors and leaks that we haven't been able to really do anything with, unless there was something that Eric had. Before as I'm pulling up the rules for this guy.
Say about what I was talking about earlier?
No, I didn't know if you had something that you were going to be jumping on to chat about.
Yeah. Well, we pull that up, Eric. Your idea presented, and we're going to give the green light. So.
Oh, so you want me to go over it really fast?
Yeah.
So my idea was for everyone watching. If you are interested, this is up to John's discretion, or Jonathan's discretion, obviously, on who we get or what we do. But I offered my time because I don't work all summer because I'm a teacher. So I have a lot of free time where I'm not doing anything because I don't need to paint because John's going to do all that for me. If you guys have questions or you want the FN Pro guys to maybe test lists or help figure out, how to make your list better, to submit them, and we can look at one or two a week and give our feedback. And then possibly I threw out the idea that we could even film us playing some of your lists or some of the things you want to see how they're played to get better ideas or tactics. I'm not saying we're the best top tier players, but we do usually place in the top at events.
Don't downgrade the FN Pro team. You guys are top in Houston.
Yeah, best in Houston. We do place in the top events. Most of us go 4-1 at GTs and stuff like that, or 5-0 if some of us go undefeated. But you'd still get the ability to see some of them played at more of a, higher caliber than what you're used to see if maybe you can get some tips or tricks from what we do to help your play, or to see what is good or what's not good in your lists, and we would film it, and that would be a battle report.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a great idea, and we definitely get some battle reports. And Eric has the summer off, which is super helpful for FNP. Because all of us mostly don't have the summer off. Just means that there's less traffic. That's about it. So, So if you guys are interested, it'll be for the Patreon supporters. We'll put it on the level. It's not going to be the top tier. It'll be a level. And then if we get so many, it'll be we'll have to randomly pick that list to try it out. So for our current Patreon supporters, you should hop on that quickly so we can go ahead and get you vetted out for a list you want to try. And we get a whole list of all the armies we have. I think between all of us, we pretty much have all the armies, mostly. So
I have 0 Eldar, so I couldn't do anything Eldar.
I have a bunch of painted Eldar. A lot of painted Eldar. And not painted Eldar. So
okay.
All right, well, let's hit this night before we go.
Okay, so
tonight.
Good news and sad news. So sad news, we currently do not have 40K. What?
Good news first.
Oh, no, let's do sad news first.
Okay.
Sad news. The sad news is small. It's there are no Warhammer 40,000 rules yet for the Acastus Knight Asterius. I might be pronouncing that wrong. We don't have 40K rules for yet. Right now, just Horus Heresy. It's a special treat for them, I'm guessing. I don't know if I can. I'll let somebody else pull up the image.
It's almost as if Forge World doesn't like money.
Well, at some point, this is going to make it over. I mean, they know that they're going to sell it like crazy once it becomes a 40K model. But right now, let me go over the rules for you guys that are Horus Heresy players. It's got a lot of the normal rules that you, that you're going to get for knights. Sorry, guys.
So bad he's choking on himself.
Right. All right. I'll share my screen.
All right. Share your screen.
Yeah.
So
I have to click me. There we go. Now I'm clicked.
Okay. Well, while you're pulling up that picture,
That thing's so gorgeous.
it is.
Fudge.
So this thing's got all the super heavy walker rules, and those of you that are just new to Warhammer 40,000 that only know 8th edition, some of these rules are not going to mean anything to you. So it's got Fear, Hammer of Wrath, Invincible Behemoth, Move Through Cover, Relentless, Smash, Strike Down. Pretty standard stuff for the super heavy walkers.
Yep.
The suckers got the ability to, at the end of their turn, on a D6 roll of a 6, they can restore a lost hull point. These things do have hull points, which are kind of like wounds. It's got ion shields. It's got a 4-up involve versus everybody else. So that's versus most knights where they got a 5-up, I believe. So that's pretty awesome. It's big. How to do, man. It's really with its conversion beam cannons, not to be confused with the special beam cannon from Piccolo. It is. That's my favorite attack, by the way. So
is it really?
I have no idea why I like it.
Oh, it's lame.
Anyway,
You struck me as a Destructo Disc person.
Right? He seems like a Krillin. I don't know why.
Okay, so
same haircut.
The conversion beam cannon, and there's 2 of them on there. It's got it's strength 10 no matter what, how far away it shoots. It's always and they're twin link, so he's got 2 twin link conversion beam cannons.
People are like, what does that mean?
Okay, so twin link means they get to re-roll misses, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So the
It's been
AP,
so long.
so the strength always stay at 10, which in the old 7th edition rules or Horus Heresy rules, that's besides a D weapon, that's as powerful as you're going to get. And the farther away that the target is, the more armor AP that you're going to have. The cool thing is that this thing starts off at just like the little 3-inch blast, and then it gets to a massive 7-inch blast whenever it hits. So they've got these massive templates, so everything underneath that template gets hit, or even partially under. It also has stuff like Wrecker and Sunder, which, if I recall, it allows you to re-roll versus vehicles.
Or buildings, probably.
Yeah, I think it's buildings and vehicles. So basically, you sit him as far back as possible, and that way you can shoot get the big beam. And then it's got the
special beam cannon.
I'm not even Carachnos, some sort of awesome mortar battery. This thing is strength 5, AP 4, so not all that great against Marines, except that it's heavy 3 barrage. So that means you put the 3 little templates down. It has Fleshbane that lets you re-roll failed wounds, if I remember correctly. It ignores cover, causes pinning, so your guys, if they fail their leadership test, they're stuck there for the next turn. And then it has Radphage.
God, you are reminding me of all the terrible rules that
I
happened. Like, I'm so glad they don't exist.
I know. Well, Horus Heresy was even worse because it was like, hey, here's all the universal rules, and we're going to go ahead and add on like 30 more pages of rules. And for that Radphage, I can never remember with Radphage. I believe that causes, if you cause a wound, it causes an automatic extra wound, I believe. I could be wrong on that, but that mortar is really bad. I can't say that this is a super deadly knight, even with that conversion beamer at 540 points. It's definitely interesting, but I would not say it's going
It's
to be
gorgeous.
It's gorgeous. So fielding it to look really cool, yes. I'm not sure because I haven't played the 7th edition rules for a while, so I don't know on its viability. So I'm sorry. Me looking at it right here, there's 540 points I have to spend elsewhere.
Tyler says super deadly to my wallet. That's good.
Yeah, I don't know how much the Porphyrion, but I think the Porphyrion would be the better choice if they're about the same price.
Space Cadet, he quoted my "I'm glad they don't exist."
Oh.
That the rules don't exist anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was such a nightmare, man. I've said it before. 7th edition. And that's what Horus Heresy mainly uses. I almost quit playing, quit being a TO. I about walked away from the hobby. I held out for a few more months, and I was rewarded with 8th edition, and it restored my faith in Games Workshop.
Oh yeah, man. 8th edition. So to be fair, every edition was better than the last, in my opinion.
Yeah.
There's always improvements.
Mhm.
However, when 8th edition came out, you didn't realize how bad the other editions you were just dealing with were.
Yeah. And when Age of Sigmar came out, and even with its kind of bad initial launch, it was still better than the previous Warhammer Fantasy. I know that's going to anger some people, but they cleaned up a lot of the garbage that was going on in the cluttered. I shouldn't say garbage. It was so cluttered that and 40K was the same way. It was just so cluttered with so many rules. The FAQs, man, John Connolly had a binder that had to be about 3, maybe 4 inches thick of just FAQs for 40K. And it was just ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember going to Adepticon, and me and my buddy with our FAQs for just our armies was in a 3-ring binder. We had a separate binder just for FAQs.
Yeah. I took the time to actually cut out the FAQs and put it. So this is back when I was still in the military, and we had a thing called positional, which was a big book that has your job. And so we'd always get updates to it and cut out pages, and you'd put it over that positional area because you had to with your little glue stick and stuff. And so it's the same concept. I was cutting out the FAQs, and then that one spot they said this goes here, and I'd paste it over the actual thing in the book. Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting if next year we get the. I don't think it'll be next year, but a new edition for Warhammer 40,000. Because next year will be the 4-year mark since its release. So it's a possibility. I mean, it's getting to the point where they're having to do lots of FAQs, lots of errata, and to
They're
me,
releasing 2.0s too.
Yeah, so I'm thinking it's not too far away.
I think they're doing something smart, even from an outside perspective. Is they're not going to release until they get everything out and FAQ'd and the fine needle, get the comb out, go through it, and get everything to a point. And I believe the next edition will just be a 0.5. I don't even think it's going to be a full edition. I think it's just, okay, here's tighter rule sets, here's things we fixed, here's things that we're going to add and try. Because once everything's fixed, like every edition, they add something new or they try something different with a certain mechanic. They always do. So
I hope they clean up stratagems.
What's that?
I hope they clean up the stratagems.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure, and I don't have any proof of this, but I'm pretty sure that they're revisiting the playtesting of the stratagems as one uses, or they're more costly, revisiting the only your detachments can only use their command points for their stratagems. I have no proof that they're doing that, or proof that I could provide, I should say.
It makes sense that they would be doing it.
They're revisiting all that, guys. I can't give you the proof, but they are revisiting all that stuff. So
mine problem is just like some of the stratagems just seem like they're like, oh, this would be cool, and then just when they wrote it, it doesn't do it. Like the Tyranids literally have a useless stratagem. There's no point in using it. It doesn't make any sense. It's just there. And I could see why they're like, yeah, this would make sense. But then you read it and you're like, why would I ever do this? Because all the things that it's the Lictor one. When the Lictor comes in, you can deep strike another unit with it for 1 CP, but you can only deep strike stuff that was off the board. And the only stuff that can be off the board is stuff that can already deep strike. And the Lictor can only deep strike 9 inches away. So you're just spending a command point to literally do nothing.
Well, it makes you feel special. I spent a command point.
The only thing it can do is if you spend an additional 3 command points to bring in 5 Gene Stealers that you also had to pay for prior.
Oh my god.
That's the only thing it can do.
Space Cadet, he said make it all digital and update it retroactively. They already do that for Apple.
Yep.
So if you have an Apple device that you borrowed from grandma.
I've seen it all the time with Age of Sigmar. Every time they bring out an FAQ, everything is updated in my Apple.
Eric, you're not too far off there when you said, oh, this is a cool ability. I talked to, I believe it was Jeremy Vitok. I might be pronouncing the name wrong. He did the last, right before Age of Sigmar, the last Age of Sigmar, gosh darn it, what's it called? Lizardman Codex or Battle Tome. Well, it was before Seraphim. So I think, okay, so it was actually before Age of Sigmar dropped. Yeah, it was Lizardman. And I sat there and we talked about, because I was doing actually an interview for a class I was doing at school. And, their whole design process is like, okay, they put one guy in charge of the book to just handle the writing. And so he basically writes all this stuff up and like, oh, this would be cool. This would be cool. And then they have a brainstorm session and like, okay, well, we love all this cool stuff. Okay, rules guys, go and go make some rules with this cool stuff. And model guys, go make stuff. Like there was the Pterodons. I think that's it. The
Pterodon Riders.
Yep.
Yeah. They had that little toad.
Slam?
No, there's like a little toad there the little frog. And if you, at least in that edition, you put them down and I guess they go crazy or something when they go towards it. I forget what the rule was. But that was all, wasn't even part of the whole design concept, but they thought it'd be really cool to include. So they just said, hey, make a miniature for that, add it to the sprue, make a rule for it, because we think it would be cool to see. And that's most of the stuff that they do is what would be cool first, and then let's try to balance it afterwards. And sometimes stuff slips through.
Yeah, and the toad is still being used. With Andrew, I think, has it, and he uses it for Age of Sigmar because it can't even be targeted.
Yeah, that's like the only army I know in Age of Sigmar because they used to play Lizardmen.
It's just still good. Like a lot of people are complaining, like, "Oh, we're not getting any love." I says, "Man, you guys are still a top tier army, even to right now." When we're summoning skinks all over the table, and it's like, I can't keep up, and you're taking all the objectives. It's so hard.
I play Spooky Boys because they're so spooky.
Well, I guess before we wrap up, since we actually have gone over, but a little bit. Eric and I are heading to El Paso in a few weeks.
Mm-hmm.
Going to go play at the Desert Rat GT, support the Texas Championship circuit.
Nice.
Long drive. Long and lonely drive.
Yep.
Well, you have each other.
Yeah.
It's not lonely.
We're going to hold hands the whole time.
Only one of us will come back alive.
Yes.
Well, you don't have to just hold hands. There's other things. Like the steering wheel. What do you guys?
Yeah.
What did you guys talking about?
Seatbelt.
We were talking about hands and steering wheels. I don't know what you're thinking.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
So yeah, I don't know how many people signed up yet, but this should be a pretty good event. I'm going to take the camera and film some events because I have a feeling my games are going to be over relatively quick. So I'll get lots of video footage of games and take lots of pictures of people's armies and get those put up on the page for everybody. And hopefully walk away with whatever the top lists are so we can post them up. And why the rest of the FN Pro guys carry me that whole tournament.
Hey, John, remember that picture I sent you about that new Battle Force box? Should I share that?
Maybe. But actually you could.
Okay.
It's not bad.
Okay. So, and no new Battle Force box coming out. I'm just going to share the screen. You probably see one in that. I thought it was great. Let's see.
What? What am I looking at?
Click on him so people can see it.
He's clicked. I just don't know what I'm looking at. Well, that's fake.
I think it is great.
Yeah,
Owen's new army in a heartbeat.
It's funny that you say
is that Slanesh?
I think it's supposed to be.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I recognized a couple of those miniatures. I immediately started scouring the internet for it, and unfortunately, most of those are like 1/7 scale or whatever. So they're actually like.
Oh, they're the big ones. You're talking about the big ones. I saw some of them had like the small ones, but they're like the chibi small.
Yeah. Now, almost every single one of those models that they had for that host, they were all like the like 5 or 6 inch tall, and I was like, nah, dang it, I can't do it. So I was gonna do it.
Bet you were.
Forgot to share that.
Heck yeah!
Fun for the end of the night.
All right, guys. Well, we've gone way over it. Man, I made my camera really big, and I didn't realize how big I looked on the screen. Anyway, as always, I wanted to thank everyone who participated. The tip of the tongue, the tip is the. All right. Participated in chat. And special thanks to our Patreon supporters. We're also going to be adding new Patreon perks as well. Thanks to Eric and his grand idea. I always kind of had something like that back in my mind, but we never had a lot of time to get it, and we weren't super tournament heavy. But now we got a whole tournament team behind us. It's great. And chat was really good. Tons of chat. Chat blew up. And I appreciate all you guys. Do you guys have anything else?
Hopefully next week I will have a whole bunch of new rumors and like solid leaks to pass on. So definitely stay tuned.
See for AOS. Got waiting on Generous Handbook, and then if you know anybody that wants to do a GT for come down to Warzone Houston, we have 6 tickets left. So I'm gonna pass that along because. Down play.
And Ski, on your Sigmar segment.
I'm working on it. I'm going to start.
Days are open for you.
What's that?
I said any of the days are open for you.
Okay.
And the same thing also, Eric, if you guys want to get on the FN Pro team, I can arrange a hosting kind of thing, and you guys can actually run it and talk tournament stuff. So we can have 3 aspects. We have our rumors show here and all the overall silliness of wonderful things of Warhammer 40K and Age of Sigmar. And then we have Ski's show, which is just Age of Sigmar. And then Eric, if you guys arrange something, we do very tournament heavy show as well. And then battle reports on top of that. So hopefully Go ahead.
Just let us know if there's actually a lot of interest in it, and I'll see what we can do.
There, I gotta tell there's interest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just unfortunately, I play a lot, so I'm a veteran player, but I'm not super tournament. I was the most tournament guy out of the group. TJ's actually surpassing me in that, and I'm falling
That's
behind.
embarrassing.
Yeah, right. And I'm becoming more of a focusing on the hobby and narrative kind of thing. I think it's because I've been being read to a lot lot books.
And you love it. And you love it. And
I'm loving it. So I'm doing a thing where I'm going to the Horus Heresy and then 40K, Horus Heresy, 40K. So I keep it mixed up and I can kind of, go between. And because I already know what happens, right? Everyone knows what happens in Horus Heresy, but you don't know in that kind of detail. So, and it's mostly Death Guard stuff because that's my jam. So,
thanks, Crybaby.
Well, and, side note, so I've got my studio about halfway done. Narnia has now become the studio. So,
all your ladies?
Yeah, I've got all my ladies behind me.
Oh.
And of course, in the center is my gorgeous wife-to-be, Vraska. Then, don't judge me. I got those two lovely ladies.
Man, you got a lot of women in your room.
That's the way I like it.
He does women and paints,
Well, all that's going to get changed. On the other side of the desk, I'm not going to show everybody, but it's boxes upon boxes upon boxes of stuff. That random Thunderhawk, I'm not kidding, and random stuff that just needs to be sorted, thrown out.
I'm going to need you to just Gibbs me that Thunderhawk.
No, sorry.
You're just going to Gibbs it. You're like, it's been Gibbsed.
Actually, I think it would have filmed me flying around and then accidentally trip and let it crash.
Dude, having you like run to atomic and like and then like just beefing it and exploding all over the parking lot. That'd be good. Everyone's like, please don't do that to a Thunderhawk. I mean, it's pretty durable. It's plastic, right? So
yeah, no, it's resin.
Shh, it's plastic.
Oh yes, it's plastic.
All right. Anyway, that was a long goodbye. So again, thank you all so much, and thank you everyone for being on the show. And you guys have a good night.